How to find profitable niches fast.
Welcome to the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast.
We're your hosts, David and Elle Denning.
What happens when a millennial couple dives headfirst into the insurance world, scales $1 million remote business, and decides to share the journey with the world?
You get the Modern Insurance Agent.
Here, we reveal the messy, magical, and sometimes hilarious realities of building a business and a life you love.
From traveling the globe to building remote teams. Yes, even working remotely on top of a mountain in the Philippines. We're sharing insights, strategies, and plenty of laughs to help agents and entrepreneurs succeed.
Because, let's face it, success isn't just about hitting numbers.
It's about designing a life that works for you.
So let's dive in and build something extraordinary together.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast. It is Elle and David. Almost got that wrong. And today we're talking about one of the biggest bottlenecks agents run into without even realizing it.
And honestly, it's not even about their content or their consistency. It's not the algorithm. It is the niche they chose or didn't choose.
And we can go into a long debate if it's niche or niche, but the riches are in the niches doesn't really rhyme. So we're going to call it niches, right? Because it rhymes. That's important. So if you've been posting, DMing, engaging, and still feel like you're shouting into the void, which a lot of you guys do feel like that, it's probably because your niche or niche, I'm going to get it wrong now, isn't profitable or clear enough.
And today we're going to fix that. We're breaking down how to discover a profitable niche and how to do it fast. We're going to give you 3 real client examples and show you exactly what this looks like out in the wild. But first, to get all of the show notes and all of the free marketing goodies, head on over to jumpstartgonow.com/podcast.
Get all them goodies, guys. We already put them together for you, so might as well grab them, right? So, okay. So, generalists get ignored, right? You know, no one wants to go to the generalist. I help everybody with everything all the time. That means I'm skilled in nothing. But specialists get referrals. Who helps that specific person? You know what? I got someone for that. And specialists also get paid more, way more. Harvard Business Review has research showing that people trust specialists more than generalists, even when the generalist technically knows more. But just think about your doctors, right? Who gets paid more, the general physician or the cardiologist, the brain surgeon? Yeah, they get paid more.
What's wild is that agents who break through aren't necessarily better than everyone else. They're just known for one thing. And that one thing pulls in an entire ecosystem of high quality leads and referrals. So when we looked across all of our top clients, the ones that were closing the biggest policies, that were truly generating word of mouth and referral based business, all organically without having to pay for ads, they really had the best referral networks, and they were also growing the fastest. They all have something in common, and they have a niche that people actually remember.
And guys, there's a neuroscience behind this. Yes, I just did look up what that word means. The brain remembers what's specific, not vague. Insurance agent goes nowhere. And let's be honest, actually, it gets people running away from you in the first place, right? So maybe not the best thing there. But the contractor insurance gal, the commercial trucking dude, that sticks.
The food truck freaks.
Food truck freaks. Shout out Kelly Spees.
And we're going to walk you through 3 client examples today. Stacy, Dan, and Kevin. All of their niches are totally different. They sell different products, but they all hit the same framework. So we're going to first start with this framework because once you understand this, everything else is going to click. We call it our 3-part profitable niche filter.
Say that 3 times fast.
3-part profitable niche filter. All right, David. So what is the first part? And I would argue probably the most important part of the 3-part profitable niche filter.
Demand. Demand. Is there a clear financial trigger or urgent need that forces people to make a decision? If you don't have a demand, then it doesn't really matter, right? We can also call product market fit. Like you need a demand for something. So an example would be contractors needing certs. Seniors turn 65, because those of you who don't know, certain things happen when you turn 65, like Medicare. Veterans transitioning out of the military. New business owners getting started. New homeowners, big life transition right there too. You need a demand first off. Up next, to go with demand, you need access. And this is something the University of Pennsylvania talks about. Referrals spread faster inside tight-knit communities. I think we've all, maybe it's just me, the mommy network where, you do something, all of a sudden all your friends and everybody in the neighborhood knows because the mommy network spread it around, right?
It's a real thing.
If you had a mommy network for your insurance business spreading around to everybody how amazing you are and to use you, you'd be set, right? So let's go tap into your mommy networks, right? So niches work best when you can actually find them. So let's give a few examples, right? Especially high level. We can get way more specific, but these are some just like things to think about. Seniors, contractors, veterans, moms, business owners, teachers, first responders, church communities. All those could be examples of niches that you can take advantage of. And if the community is tight, your referrals move faster. That's sociology, not just strategy.
That's how we operate as human beings, right? We want to talk. We want to share. We're social creatures.
We're built for that. I mean, there's not too many people going and hiding in a dark closet and not interacting with the world. So we're built to spread the word, right? The piece of hot gossip, the latest tea spreads quick. So let's let that be your referral business spreading quick there. So we got demand, we got access, but then what we need is alignment. Alignment. And do you even like talking to them? Don't work with a niche that you hate. If you don't like seniors or ever, don't work with seniors. If you don't like commercial truckers, I don't know why you wouldn't, but don't work with, pick a niche that you like talking to, that you enjoy. Does their world make sense to you? If it's not a world you don't want to be in, you don't understand, then hey, that might not be the niche for you. You can force a niche for 30 days, like anybody, anything you do for 30 days or push through, but not for a year, not for a whole career and being known for that niche. Pick one that's going to make sense there. If you naturally connect with this group, your authority rises faster. Doesn't mean you have to be the same age group or anything like that, but you need to be able to connect and relate and, communicate well with them, because they're going to be who spreads all the word about you and sends everybody. Every profitable niche our clients picked hit all three of these, as each of those parts are absolutely critical.
Love it. And so now we're going to actually walk you through on how to find your niche in 15 minutes. So we're going to get tactical here. This is how you're going to find your niche fast. So step one is look at the last 5 clients that you've closed. And I would recommend actually getting a piece of paper out and writing their names down. And I want you to circle the one that was the easiest to talk to and also the most profitable for your business. That becomes your starting point.
Perfect. So once you have that done, we're going to keep rolling here. We want you to audit your environment, right? Not like a tax audit. Don't worry, guys. Chill out. So we want you to research from behavioral economics Research from behavioral economics shows that familiarity reduces friction, meaning the people that are already around you are easier to convert. Now, this doesn't just mean friends, family, but, even more like location wise. So look at your city, but also your interest, your hobbies, what you love, your existing connections. Who do I already have some connections with? Actually, maybe even some amazing connections in communities that I can leverage. And for social media, for example, your Facebook ecosystem. What groups am I in? Who am I connected with, through social and having conversations with through there as well? Usually the niche is right in front of you, underneath your nose or underneath your fingers on your phone.
Yeah. And we see a lot of our clients have success when they are their niche or their target market. That's not like a hard and fast rule, but it has to do with this. It has to do with because of that relatability and proximity, usually, because if you are your niche, you likely have connections within that audience already. So step 3 is going to be to identify the money moment. I talk about this a lot. I think that this is one of the easiest ways to think about your niche and identify it. I usually call it life stage. What's going on in their life? What transition has just happened? Did they just have a baby? Are they retiring? Are they retiring from the military? Did they, like David said, are they a business owner? Are they just opening up a new business? This is really where your conversion is going to skyrocket, is when you get this right. Research shows that message to market alignment can double or even triple your response and conversion rate. You have to find that buying moment, that life event that puts them in that buying pocket. And there is usually a time that is happening. And not only do you want to be the person that's top of mind when that event happens, but you also want to make sure that your marketing is staying in front of people. And ideally, you know when that event is happening so that your correspondence with them is correlating with that event.
Make sure you know when those moments are happening so you can capitalize on it. Also tells you where you can go connect with them. Also at the closest time it makes sense for them to buy, for example. So step 4 is create your one-liner, not your jokes. I got plenty of those. Just go ask and she'll tell you they're terrible, but that's fine.
Hit or miss.
So create your one-liner. The simpler, the better. This reduces decision fatigue, what Columbia University calls the paradox of choice, right? If your message is clear, people choose you faster, right? They have to think about it, or what we call friction, then they're most likely not going to make that choice. Just move on, right? People are inherently lazy. Make it easy for them. So in a one-liner, for example, I help my audience with specific outcome. I help widowed seniors protect their legacies for their grandkids so they can enjoy retirement stress-free. I help new parents plan for their children's educational futures through tax-advantaged methods, so they know their child can live their best life. I mean, a very specific one-liner that has the audience you help with outcome you help them with.
I love it. All right, so let's move into some client examples so you can see exactly how this niche framework applies to real life. Hopefully in these examples, you can kind of see something similar for yourself and apply this framework. So let's start first with Stacy, who's a commercial PNC agency owner out in California. David, let's talk a little bit about how Stacy applied this framework to her niche, which was local contractors.
Absolutely, especially on the commercial PNC side, right? And so this niche is perfect match for the framework. So let's walk through this. So demand. Contractors need insurance to operate. They literally can't even have a business, run the business, win jobs on bids for contracts for projects without having insurance. It's required. Can't operate without it. So they need certs for their work. They need renewals.
Certificate of insurance.
Yes, sorry, we're abbreviating it. It was kind of spending a lot of time in and around different niches. If you're in the niche, you absolutely know what that means. If not, then you don't, which is, once again, jargon, which if you want to identify with your target niche, use the words and language that they use, right? So they need certificates of insurance, they need renewals, they need equipment coverage, they need their business owner policies, they need general liability, they maybe need their fleet, their vehicle coverage for all their vehicles for the business there, and they need it yesterday.
Always.
It's never like that would be nice to have in a few months or take your time with it, no rush. It's always like, I need this a week ago and I forgot to ask you, can you have it done in an hour? So there's built-in urgency right here.
This goes back to the alignment thing, is if that bothers you, like being able to get those certificates of insurance over to business owners really quickly, then this might not be the best niche for you, right?
No. If you don't want to have to get things done very quickly and have the pressure on, this is probably not the niche for you. Just kind of like with working with mortgage loan officers. If you don't want to drop everything and help that referral right then and there and get that quote done so they can get that loan across the line, that mortgage loan officer won't keep sending them to you. That's such a key, is the urgency that's built in. So with contractors, though, this is recurrent urgent demand, a gold mine. This is no one time. This is ongoing. Each project, each thing that they're doing, that they need this and to stay in business. So demand, check. It's there. Perfect. Cool. Let's take a look at the next area. Access. Contractors gather in dense, predictable communities. There's so many Facebook groups for like contractors, home services, everything on there. Great place where they gather. Networking groups, whether it's your BNI, Master Networks, Chamber of Commerce, they're absolutely gathering at these networking groups. And then even local Lowe's, Home Depot, you're definitely going to run into them there as they're constantly going back and forth for projects and stuff there as well. So sociology research shows referral velocity is at its highest, fastest in tight-knit groups just like these. So access, check. Perfect. Okay, let's move on. Alignment, one of the most important, if not the most important, according to Elle, right? Which I agree with as well. Stacy genuinely loves working with small business owners. That's important, or else she's not the niche for her. She speaks their language and they trust her because she gets their world, right? If I can understand what goes on, I can speak their language, that trust is there versus, oh, this agent has no idea what certificate of insurance I need, or how to fill out these Accord documents, moving on to the one that can, right? And so what's the result of that? What does that look like in practice? I mean, she got a little bit of business, a little bit of extra premium. The result is one referral turned into over 300,000 in annual premium from one referral, right? I also remember her doing like 25 policies in 2 days as well. I mean, this just is all from referrals, guys, not from paid leads, not from paid ads. This is from executing this, right? Because once a few contractors trust you, they bring you into their entire network and they all talk with each other as well. And that's the power of a strong niche.
I love it. All right, so let's talk about Dan. And his niche is retiring veterans as they retire from the military or separate from the military. And Dan really focuses on retirement strategies through life insurance. And this niche works for some different reasons, but the framework is the same. So let's talk about the demand, okay? When veterans retire, they're losing certain benefits from the military, and they actually go through a level of education about, basically reintegrating into civilian life. But a lot of times they're not educated about life insurance. There's VGLI that is presented to them. But that's that renewable term policy that's going to go up every 5 years. And so the big problem that Dan is solving for his clients is he's actually showing them how they could spend maybe just a little bit more a month than what they're already spending over the lifetime of the policy and end up with way more retirement income at the end of the day. And so the demand is absolutely there, as well as that money moment of there is that trigger that is happening that they are retiring from the military. And a lot of them just don't understand what exactly is going on or what their options are. And so this creates, because of the money moment and because of the uncertainty around it, this creates a predictable, I need help now moment. Okay, so that's the demand. Access. This is huge. Okay, so veterans are incredibly connected that through shared experiences, of course, but there are base groups, VA organizations, local veteran communities, Facebook groups, which is honestly where Dan really started building a lot of his connections through social media, and still how he's generating most of his organic business, which is landing him anywhere from 20 to 40,000 in commissions a month. And they're really referring within their circles. Veterans exist in tightly bonded communities, and research shows that these communities have the highest trust pathways. David was talking about like the mommy networks, that's what happens here. There's a proximity, there's you understand me, you get me type of an attitude. So when referrals are passed in these tight-knit communities like this, there's a lot of transfer of trust that happens through those referrals. All right, so that was access. Now let's talk about alignment. Dan has a personality and communication style that resonates with veterans because he is a veteran. Okay, so this is an example of where your niche target market, you are your target market. Stacy, the example David gave earlier, that she's not a contractor. She's not out there like, painting houses or, putting a roof on someone's home. But Dan is a retired veteran. So he can really speak to the pain points, the dreams, the fears, all of those things from his own perspective. And again, it comes back to being part of the community. And then also he's very respectful, like in his content, it comes across as respectful. His tone is also one that is commanding, but also approachable at the same time. And he respects his client's story. And one of the things that I think is so key with Dan in the way that he's approached his content, and I believe is also part of his military background, is that he shows up consistently. And that builds a ton of trust, especially when it comes to your marketing. When your audience is seeing you consistently on social, that's one of the best ways to build trust because they know that you're not going anywhere. So the result is when someone's going through the major transition of retiring or separating from the military, they trust Dan as their guide. And that just leads to more referrals and honestly larger policies that he's selling because he's built that trust with them.
Which he's sold a few big annuities and policies recently off that. And then also, for Dan going from having never written insurance to replacing a 6-figure income in less than 6 months, right? From building these referral relationships and networks off of that, and having this niche that he is literally a representation of himself. So absolutely incredible. So that's 2. And the third example, totally different niche as well, is Kevin. With focusing on active seniors, Medicare plus life are some of the product areas focus on, but focusing on seniors who are active, and actually senior couples who are active as well. So he focuses on seniors, which are one of the most referral-driven communities on earth.
That's the truth.
I think we all know that, right? Like we sit down with grandpa or grandma or see them talking to each other. There's not a rush in the world. We've got plenty to chat about, and we're going to be here all day, right? And so this niche is all about trust and clarity, especially in a niche that, trust what's real. Who can I go to? I'm not going to go look this up online. You tell me who you use and who I should go talk to also. This is very much part of decision-making processes. So let's talk about demand. Turning 65. They have to make a decision when it comes to their Medicare, for example, when they turn 65. This is a big life stage that is now leading to that business. So the demand is there. The government literally puts a deadline on it. And, I don't like government telling us what to do, but they tell us what to do in this situation, right? And it's confusing. It's not, pick option 1 or 2. Nope. Which is why they need a guide. They need someone they can trust to take them through, that is patient, is going to help educate them as part of that too, so they know what they're getting and why that's important to them. So demand is certainly there, and still it's one of the highest times in history of people turning 65, and will continue to be so over the next year. So demand's there. Access, though. Seniors gather everywhere. Where do I access? Where do I find them? Well, church groups, pickleball courts. You gone to a pickleball court lately? If you don't see seniors there, then tell me where these pickleball courts are. Or
shuffleboard, which is really popular here in Florida.
Yes, we actually have membership shuffleboard community, and there's a lot of seniors there, right? So if I was Medicare Final Access, you bet I'm walking around talking about the shuffleboard place. HOA communities or meetings, local events, Facebook group communities. They're absolutely on Facebook. If they're going to be on one social platform, it's going to be Facebook. And once a senior trusts you, they tell all their friends, and you're trusted for the length of that relationship. I mean, absolutely incredible once you've built that relationship. Now, alignment. That is important. So was Kevin aligned? So Kevin had that warm, calm personality that seniors love. He explains things without overwhelming them. He genuinely cares. He also has, this air that he likes to have fun and
Yes.
joke around that. He's got a
Little
shaved
goofy.
head, but he likes to wear a fun hat that's got like fake hair as part of his videos and some of his content there that people love. So absolutely is aligned with that target audience and really, really enjoys working with them. And the result is Medicare is a relationship, and relationship equals also getting to talk about life insurance and med subs and final expense and annuities and referrals, all these different areas you can help with once he has this relationship and with all their friends who are asking about all these things. Kevin becomes family as well as their agent.
And one thing I'll also mention just on the alignment thing, just to kind of like draw the comparison here. Like we talked about Stacy's niche with business owners, contractors, very fast paced. I need it now, right? Versus the senior market, which is typically going to be like, you're going to need to spend maybe a little bit more time with them, maybe a little bit more tech challenge, really explaining things to give them that security and trust. Again, that comes down to alignment. How do you enjoy building your business and building those relationships? Are you like, yeah, let's just get it done, fast pace? Or you really like to sit down with people and spend that time, maybe even sit down at their kitchen table with them? So now that we've talked about these examples, let's talk about the common mistakes that agents make, because we see a lot of them. And this is going to save you a lot of headaches. And there might be even some stuff that feels a little bit counterintuitive here. This is why we put so many like research things in this podcast so that you can go back and you can verify what we're saying here, that there are actual psychological studies that have been done that prove why niches are so important in marketing. But the biggest mistake that we see agents make is not picking a niche at all. And that's because they're typically afraid of losing opportunities. And I've literally, when I've started working with clients before and I ask them about, oh, who's your target market? Who's your ideal client? And they're just like, well, if they can fog up a mirror, then they're an ideal client for me. Well, first off, that's not true, because you literally cannot serve every single person. But two, it makes your marketing so watered down and very difficult to stand out. So instead of trying to, talk to everyone, you want to think about talking to someone, a specific person. So that's another big mistake, is trying to be very general and very vague. We talked about how being very specific and clear makes you more memorable. It makes it easier for people to understand what you do and to retain it, to remember it. So if they can't remember what you do you think that you're going to get a referral? No. So when you talk to everybody, it's very general, it's very vague, it's just more difficult to remember. And then the other mistake that we see is people waiting for that perfect niche. And I see it happen a lot, where people will start down the path of they're defining their target market, they're defining that niche audience that they want to work with. And then they're like, oh, wait, you know what? Now I want to go after this niche instead. I want to be known for this. And they're just constantly switching because they never have confidence enough to move forward and make a decision and stick with it. So a lot of clients that we start working with and we start developing marketing strategies for, I'm like, hey, one of the worst things that you can do is we go down this path and then, a week or 2 weeks later, you've decided, oh, I want to go in a different direction. Well, that's 2 weeks lost. You can always pivot down the road, but you will never find the most perfect niche. You will never feel 100% like confident in your decision. It's just like anything else in life and business. You want to do your best to find a good, profitable niche that hits all of these things that we talked about. But at the end of the day, it just needs to be like 70% good for you to move forward. That's something that I live by.
We call that the SOS trap, shiny object syndrome.
Yes. And then also something, I don't see this as often, but this can be a mistake, is choosing a niche that's impossible to find. So if you're thinking like something like that's maybe ultra specific. I do call it the Goldilocks rule as far as trying to find not too wide, not too small, but just right as far as your niche size. Now, this is something that you can use Google or ChatGPT to help you with. So if you're looking at, commercial truckers in the state of Arizona, well, Google that. There is a stat on that number and see how big is that niche. And then just ask yourself, if I could just capture 0.5% of this market, would that be enough for me to fill up my pipeline? And the answer likely is going to be yes.
And here's some research backed truth behind that, right? If people can't repeat your niche, then they can't refer you, like we were referenced earlier. If they don't know who you serve and how you serve that, they can't refer you. And also it could be to your detriment if they really just have no idea what you do, as far as like, oh, I know he does insurance, but hey, can you help them with their home and auto? I do life insurance. No, that's not what I do at all, right? If they know specifically who you help, they know all they have to think of is, oh, he helps contractors. I forgot with what, something insurance related. Let me send the contracts over. And that means either I help them or I got a referral partner to help for that. So I want to be known for the niche. And so that's memory and coding. When your niche has to be clear enough for them to store it in their minds and be able to recall that, send those referrals over.
Yeah. And it's the same type of thing that happens. Like they talk about, you've probably heard this before, when you buy a red car and you're like, oh, there's not that many red cars on the road. But as soon as you buy a red car, it's like every car that you see is like red all of a sudden. Well, the same thing happens with referrals. Once people know you work with hair salon owners, and they might, well, first, maybe somebody that they know comes to their mind, but since you've had that conversation with them, they're going to be a lot more likely to start recognizing hair salon owners that they're interacting with, or talking to their friend Betsy that mentions that her daughter owns a salon or is opening a salon. And that's really like the psychology of this type of stuff that happens behind the scenes. And when you start educating yourself and start recognizing this, it also gives you more confidence in moving forward again with picking a niche. So let's talk about what you can do this week to start identifying your niche. We call this the 15-minute niche sprint. And I'm going to put together a worksheet for you guys that when you go over to jumpstartgonow.com/podcast, I'll have it there for you. Give us a couple days to get it uploaded for you. But by the time that this podcast airs, I will have it there. All right. So here is the process for that. Number one, you're going to list your last 5 best clients, okay? Or either like your last 5 or your best 5. And then I want you to circle your favorite or most profitable. And then really think back to their particular situation. What was the moment that triggered their need to reach out about insurance? Really think back to their situation. And then you want to create your niche one-liner around this. So once you're thinking about, you're kind of using your past clients as a way to inform who is a good market, a good niche. You want to now translate this into your one-liner on who you help and how you help them. And then we want you to post a piece of content speaking directly to that audience.
You'll feel the clarity immediately. Your content will get easier. Your engagement will increase, and people will start remembering what you do from going through this. So, and if you want help building this out even deeper, your content, your referral partners, your messaging, this is one of the things among many that we do inside of the Closers Click.
And again, if you want today's show notes and the resources that I mentioned, head on over to jumpstartgonow.com/podcast. Everything is waiting for you there.
All right, friends, pick your niche, take action, and let's build some momentum.
We'll see you next time.